something.
Yeah, I know it just can't be me. This woman's me.
Yeah, so I said y'all cut the arrow now because the mics will pick it up.
You sure?
We use them for live games.
Okay.
Yeah. Crowd right in our face.
So the camera right in my way then. Yeah, that ain't it. I need to move this way.
Oh, we got to move that. Stop the way.
Nah, I'm right here.
What's in the way?
Where I was here, something was in the way. I think it was actually camera feed. You fine.
Close this camera lens.
No, it still was the camera. It was actually the widescreen. Right, there we go. There we go.
No notes.
7 now.
You don't know what? What you need?
All my junk is on the screen. You can't have everything. You guys know the number for this thing?
That's what I was about to ask you, did you know the number?
Not about hard.
What's
I
the
have it on
number?
my Facebook.
Yeah, pin right there. What's the number? Lionel, what's the number?
301-429-9247.
Okay. That'll work.
Oh, you can put it right there. I was around some big. You be right in front of.
That's cool.
Are you good?
Let me get a sound check from everybody, please.
We're on screen so people can see from here anymore.
So you got it.
Yeah.
Check one, check one.
Okay. You got anything lined on here? There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're on.
Yeah, check one.
Y'all ready?
We're ready.
Where are my glasses? I'm sorry.
What you need?
My glasses.
Stay on your head.
Jeez. Nah, but I had a case that came in.
Oh,
Let me see the case.
All right. I want to welcome you to another episode of Blanchard Outdoors. It's the first week of April, and it is springtime. The cherry blossoms are downtown. There's massive chaos in the world. People are having all kinds of stuff here in the nation's capital, but I am so glad to be here. I have my friends and co-partners in crime, Dee Brown and Mr. Vanessa Terry, as a part of Blanchard Outdoors, and we still having technical difficulties with the doggone camera, but that's okay. So if you're watching this live at Blanchard Outdoors /live, you see it all in our glory. You may do what we have. This week, we're going to talk about springtime turkey hunting. And this is one, I'm going to get a lot of education on this one. But the good news is I got all of that. And they're going to share both that and continues the conversation, because we learn this is all a journey. Some of us have, like, springtime is a time for a whole bunch of things. There's striped bass season starts. There is turkey hunting for the springtime here in Maryland. And I was looking at the DNR, that database for the National Resources. What do you call that thing again? Department of Natural Resources. That thing, I got stuck on it. I was reading it, and it just kept going and going. And I was like, oh, look, there's hunting for this. And then I found out about the foxes and the gray fox and the red fox, and when you can shoot them, when you can't. There was a fur-bearing thing, and then there was some other stuff about bear. I mean, it was like I was like, okay, I got to come up for air. I mean, it was just, you can live on that thing and go nuts. There's just so much information. I know a lot of folks are like into. I got to learn about it first. Go there.
absolutely. That's where I learned everything I needed to know about my hunter safety course. I got some help from my friends too. But definitely they directed me to go there for a lot of information. And I still haven't looked at the all the fur-bearing information about the foxes.
That thing is huge.
Because I'm starting slow, so I'm not even looking at that yet.
Yeah, you can become very captive by the DNR. Pretty much anything you want to know about outdoors, wild animals in your particular state or area, the DNR covers it. So as you said, yeah.
I just kept reading. I was like, oh man, look at that.
You'll go in there and look for one thing, and next thing you know, an hour or two later, you've already looked at other things.
I know, right?
I'm like, where did time go? So.
And then they direct you to other sites,
Absolutely.
like the National Wild Turkey Federation site. I found out about that site from the DNR website. So there's just so much you can branch off into from that one place.
Like I didn't know you couldn't shoot one unless it was bearded. And I thought, okay, nobody even talks about bearded turkeys. I mean, that's like, okay, that goatee, what kind of beard is this?
Well, it's interesting.
Help me out with that, man.
Yeah, actually, well, I have some things. Basically, that's the spring turkey season. Typically during spring turkey season, which actually in the state of Virginia started yesterday. Around springtime, typically you can only shoot the bearded turkeys, which are males, also known as gobblers, because they make the gobbling sound. Females are typically pregnant during this time, and this is when they lay eggs. So they don't want you to kill a hen, because typically you're not only killing one, you're possibly killing, and they lay anywhere between like 8 to 15 eggs. So you could be killing up to 16 turkeys. So that's why typically during springtime you can only kill a male bird or a bird with a beard. Now they also have what's called a jake, which is a young male, which has a much shorter beard. And sometimes you'll barely be able to see. It's almost like, if you want to put it in comparison, a teenager starting to get what you call peach fuzz around his, as opposed to a grown man with a full beard, goatee, all of that. They have young male birds who have jakes, and they have very much shorter beards. Typically, if you can see that beard, you can shoot one of them as well. But most of the trophy hunters are those going out during springtime. You're looking for a gobbler, one that has a big, it's like it grows out of the middle part of their chest. It's a hair type thing.
You got to really look then. I mean, it's like.
No, not necessarily, because again, with the main difference between male turkeys and hen turkeys are the colors. Hen turkeys are normally, they're all like big black bodies, but the hens are normally like brownish light colored. The males are the bright, colorful ones. Their heads are like red, white, blue, and then they have this big red, which you would call neck type thing. You heard people call turkey necks.
Yeah.
It's red in color. And in some states, and I've learned some things by researching this week too, some states you are not allowed to wear red, white, or blue colors during spring turkey season. You cannot wear them. It's against the law.
Right, and the reason why is because for safety reasons, Mr. Safety.
That's why I saw that right.
Yeah, definitely.
It was like that. I saw that today.
Yes.
You definitely don't want another hunter to mistake you for a gobbler. And it happens, it can happen quite often, and people don't, pay attention, but everything from your head to your toes needs to be covered in camouflage. No jewelry, nothing flashy. There's so many things you have to be, careful of when turkey hunting.
And not only for that she said you want to be fully camouflaged. Turkey is one of the animals that can distinct color. Yes. So if you have anything, like they know bright orange does not fit in the woods. They know that, sparkly silver jewelry does not fit in the woods. So typically, your camouflage are your darker greens, lighter greens, brown, tan tones. So, and that's why you see a lot of people you see on TV, they wear face masks to cover up their faces, especially if you have a lighter face, because the sun can repel off that and have a shadow or reflection in turkeys and see that. And they have awesome eyesight because they don't really smell that well. They don't have, but their eyesight is probably 100 times better than a human. And they are one of the few animals that can distinct color in the woods. So they know a color that's not supposed to be there. And he can be in range, but you'll never see him because he'll disappear.
Right. And one of the things you still want to do, although you would be wearing camouflage and not your blaze orange, is to pack your blaze orange hat or blaze orange flag or something that has that color, because as you're moving through the woods, you're still going to need to use that. But it's mainly when you're actually hunting and in position to stalk your prey is when you want to be fully covered with no blaze orange.
That's why I think turkey hunting is like so cool. I mean, it's like you really have to. It's a challenge because the turkey's going to see.
Very challenging.
There was a flock of turkeys that hit my yard a couple years ago, and I thought they were buzzards for a second, and I thought, no, that's different. Wow, look at all these turkeys. And the movement of me moving my blinds like this much, they booked. They took off like Roadrunner, and I thought, yeah, they ain't no buzzard. They dropped this whole tail out of there. I mean, they went from la 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 to, and I thought.
Did it make any sounds? Did you hear any sounds?
No, I was in the house, so I didn't hear it. And I thought, man, that was like a great thing. I thought if I could only like been closer with a camera or something,
And I've never seen one, so I'm just excited to be able to go out there and actually see one.
You never seen
a wild turkey.
Well, I've seen plenty of turkeys when season wasn't in.
Yeah, I've heard.
I
know where they are because my hunting buddies have seen them often, but I've never seen them.
Yeah, where I hunted on farms in Virginia, when I go down to scout for deer season, I've seen as many as 18 at one time.
Wow.
My uncle's season, when he's out farming. But it's almost like they have a calendar like we do. when they know when turkey season comes in,
Do not come out.
and they disappear. Right? I don't know where they go.
Do not come out.
They vanish. They disappear. Plus, they become more wary as well. Typically, during the springtime of the outdoor world, that's when almost all the animals are having their babies or whatever. So your coyotes, your
Everybody's
foxes, your possums, they have to feed their youngs. So if they are a meat eater, what would they want to get? A turkey or a young turkey. So
Yeah.
everybody's on full alert, things of that nature, movement. Like I said, different colors they know don't fit in. So that's why, yeah. But it'll be exciting to see one. And that was my first experience too. I thought it was a big buzzard because most of their body's black.
Yeah.
It's big, but then once you see turkeys have a very distinct movement, and then the gobblers have very distinct colors. You
I was
cannot,
going to say they
you
must
can't
be
mistake the
female.
gobble.
You
Right?
guys saw.
Yeah,
You didn't see the colors.
right. I've seen gobblers too, two gobblers.
Okay.
My thing is, I've never killed a turkey. Though I've been hunting over 30 years. I've shot at several.
See, that's not
But
like
they all been during deer season. I've never actually particularly set out to go
To pray. Okay.
specifically like spring turkey hunting or turkey. I was always deer hunting, and turkey season happened to coincide at the same time, and I was able to get a shot.
So are you going to try it this year?
Well, I'm actually going to Virginia next weekend.
Okay.
I was going to look and didn't realize turkey season came in, so yes, I'm going to take it.
So we have to actually do some, compare
And
notes.
my father actually left a couple of decoys down there, and he has some box calls, which we'll be putting on display here a little bit later on. So
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I may have to go out. Now, the only thing about it is that I wasn't aware.
Mhm.
You can only hunt turkeys in the beginning part of spring season from sunrise to noon.
Right. At the
That's
early,
it.
The early part. You have to be in the woods 30 minutes before
Right.
sunrise.
Yes. 30 minutes before sunrise until noon.
between these two lines.
We're
Right.
probably going to get in an hour before.
I know, right?
So
Yeah.
start hunting 30 minutes before sunrise.
Right. For example, for Maryland, Maryland's hunting season comes in April 18th through May 9th. And that's when you go on half hour before sunrise to noon. And then May 10th through May 23rd, you can actually hunt the full day, half hour before sunrise to sunset. So you have a longer day to be able to hunt them at that particular time.
And
I'm sorry.
in Maryland, they also had the junior hunt, which started early. So that was put on, I believe it was this weekend, but they had a junior hunt. So they allowed the youths to go out.
Correct. Yeah, Virginia's, I think, was early in the season. I think it was, I believe it was like April 4th or something like that.
Okay.
And can you imagine doing it with a bow? I mean, that's got to be even tougher. That's a whole lot of movement.
I was thinking about the movement and the positioning for
Right.
a first timer like myself. Even with a gun, it's going to be challenging for me because of the positioning. Because I'm accustomed to, at this point, actually being seated in a tree stand versus on my hind, on my bottom on the ground on a cushion. So it's going to be totally different. The way you position yourself for turkey hunting is quite different than deer hunting. You're not standing. I mean, you could stand up, but the praying position is basically on the ground. So that's going to be interesting. I have to raise that gun up, put my chin where it needs to be on the gun, my arms, and all that type of stuff. So there are some pointers that I've heard that you can use, or some tips to better position yourself and have less movement. You don't start raising your gun up when you see the turkey. It's kind of when it's almost right in that shooting range, and you come up fast and just take a shot. So that's going to be challenging for me as a first time, turkey hunter.
What are you
So we'll
using?
see.
You shooting with rifle, shotgun?
Well, I was told that I could use my Remington 870 Express
Or
with the number 4.
That's been number 4 shot alert.
Yeah. So I don't have the number 4 shot, so I have to get that to be prepared. But I'm going to use my current shotgun. And I know you have to use shotguns. You can't use rifles, according to the DNR.
Correct. In springtime. You can use a bow, as you Ken talked about earlier.
Blanchard.
A bow is much more challenging.
Yes.
Typically, anyone hunting with a bow during spring turkey is actually in a blind. You have to be able to close the blind because of what you're talking about, all the excessive movement that's involved. So if you ever seen it on TV or things like that, almost all turkey hunters that hunt with a bow, they're in an enclosed blind, a camouflage blind, because of the movement that is required. They have special arrow tips. They kind of expand a little bit. They aren't like broadheads like you use on a deer, because you tear up too much meat. But there's specific turkey heads that are for turkey hunting. They still have a spring mechanism on them that go through the vitals, but it's not as big as a broadhead you use for a deer, which is a much bigger animal you want to cause much more hemorrhage.
Now, shotgun, you're shooting with the head. So,
You definitely want to aim for the head.
but on bow, it's the body.
Bow is the body, correct. Well, now you can shoot for the head on a bow, but that's a very small target.
You're a bad dude.
Right.
With the bow. Yeah, exactly. What you're talking about. expert marksman. But yeah, typically shotgun, you want to shoot right, aim for the head and neck. Absolutely.
You got a picture, I guess.
Yeah, this is a picture of, you want to do some, sighting of your gun and using this. This is a sample target you practice. And this is where you want to.
That's
There's
right.
all challenging aspects of turkey hunting. We'll see how because of my lack of patience with certain things. I don't know how I'll do. We'll see.
You going out by yourself?
And
or-
also, no, one of my hunting buddies.
Well, the good thing about that is typically during the springtime, you can only kill a male bird. So you'll be doing calling, and typically they'll call back. So you'll get excited once you hear that, the closer they get. So it's not normally like deer where you make no
Right.
sound. Turkey hunting, it's all about the communication, because what you want is fool that male hormone-driven gobbler that he's looking for a hen.
Hand. What you're doing with the
Yeah,
call.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's all about the call. It's all about the cadence. It's all about the communication. Just like human species, the way you communicate to a woman, the way you talk to her, whether she wants to deal with you, go out with you, whatever. The same way in the outdoor world, communication is key.
It's amazing. Isn't it?
I know, right?
Absolutely, how everything coincides together. Absolutely.
If you don't have a clue what we're talking about turkey hunting and the outdoors life. And there's so many things in this life, in this realm, that folks don't even talk about. That we just glaze over. It's more than the Kardashians. There's more than the latest music. There's more going on than what you see on CNN and TMZ. There's some life outside, and the folks are missing some good stuff. Like right now, dogwoods are blooming, goldenrods. Everybody who has allergies is wheezing. You know, is out there. But at the same time, there's life happening. There's babies being hatched and wildlife happening, and just all of God's beauty is out there. And part of the thing of hunting is you're in one with nature. You actually see that stuff up close and personal. It's kind of like when I fish. Some days I don't even care if I catch anything. I'm glad to be outside in the water. I'm glad to smell the fresh air. I'm glad to see the heaven. I'm glad to see, I can still see the stars and the moon when sunrise is going up. There's some stuff you cannot see in the city. It's the same if you hunt. You are really close. You smell the earth. You smell the ferns and all the crazy stuff that you just take for granted here in the city. Stuff you won't smell them all.
It's about the experience. It's all about getting out there, trying new things with other people, of course, so you can have some great memories.
Absolutely. I mean, I can recall the first time again going out in the woods. You just can't imagine until you're actually out there how many different sounds you hear when you really are just paying attention or in one with nature. Just the different sounds I heard, and then as you really get involved and I grew and learned, then I wanted to know, well, what made that particular noise? Or when does it make that? And why does it make that? And how it communicates and things of that nature. Like, we were talking turkey hunting, but now I know when two squirrels are fighting in the woods or when a male is calling a female. Yeah, I've gotten that in tune. I know, okay, that's a squirrel. And there's another one over there. And that's two squirrels fighting. And then there's one who communicate with one. So, same way I've learned with deer calls as well. A long time they thought deers weren't vocal creatures, but they're very much vocal creatures after the studies and things we've done. We've always known turkeys were very vocal creatures, but we know about deer. Like I said, I've never specifically went out for turkey during like spring turkey season, but I'm looking forward to actually doing that next week myself.
Speaking of sound, deer, I know you talked about, if it's a squirrel, or if you might hear the deer coming in, and the turkey may actually gobble and make a sound. Can you hear them walking on the ground, like in the leaves?
You can
Or is
hear
it in
them.
the spring, it might be a little bit different.
Typically, one bird is very difficult to hear. It's almost like hearing one deer can be so silent. I mean, it's amazing how a big buck, 200 pounds, can move through the woods with all those antlers at and be silent. Same way with a male turkey. He's the biggest one. But typically, you definitely know when one is coming through the woods running.
Right.
It's anything. But walking
It's
through
probably
it,
making sound while it's running too. Right?
oh,
If
absolutely.
it's running from something.
Well, typically it would just make that sound because it doesn't want to make any noise or things of that nature. Normally you'll hear like the hens make a clucking sound, and that'll be to communicate or to find one another, especially when they come down off the roost and they get separated or young ones get separated from a mother. They will call the most because they want to get right. Basically, it's like, okay, I'm lost. Where are you? And I want to come the same way as a child will call his mother, mom, 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 that type of situation. A male is typically calling out because he wants to know where are the females.
Right.
He wants to be with the females,
To me.
to mate and be with them in social gatherings, but typically again. And then male turkeys normally will stick together until that mating season comes in, and then you have them, they actually fight and challenge each other. And they do theirs with the spurs, almost like
Cockfight.
a cockfight, right? They have the spurs. They'll jump up.
That's a big mess right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And they will jump on and that's why one of the decoys they have is called a young jake, which is simply a younger male turkey. I've seen a big gobbler male turkey will jump on them and try to tear it to pieces.
And speaking of the decoys, what kind is your dad using? Is he using the kind you can actually fold up, like the rubber ones you can put under your arm?
Yes.
Or the foam? Because I've seen different versions of those.
He has the rubber one. He has several.
Okay.
And my father's killed numerous turkeys.
Oh.
He's actually put out his decoys and had them in the fall and the spring.
So I should really be going with you then, D.
Well, he's not going with me. I've learned a lot from
They
him.
know stuff.
Yeah, I've
Because
learned
I'm
a
actually, even though I'm going with my hunting buddy, who's one of my mentors, he's never done turkey hunting. He was only interested because I mentioned, let's go turkey hunting.
Right.
We need to figure this thing out.
Yeah,
So
when it
he's
comes to
doing
turkey hunting, my
research.
father is the expert there. That's the one thing.
Okay.
Teacher too.
That's the one thing he
Wow.
doesn't have on me. I've never, in my over 30 years hunting, I've never killed a turkey. Now, he's killed numerous turkeys. He
Oh,
always
yeah,
brings that
competition
point out
going.
that he's killed. Like the largest one he killed was like an 18-pound male gobbler and had a 10-inch beard. That's
Did
a
he
big.
did he stuff it?
No, he did that time. That's
Okay.
back
He
then.
did-
He
he did that
ate
bad
them
He
exactly.
stuffed it all right.
He kept the
in
beard.
oven.
For the rest of the turkey, we might have had for Thanksgiving or something like that. But that's the one area that I've never caught. Like I've killed a bobcat. He's never killed one. He's seen him. I killed bigger deer than him, but he does have the turkey thing on me because I've never killed one. So I'm hoping to get on the board. Hopefully this year and be able to kill one myself.
We're ready for our first break. And after that, we'll continue on talking about spring turkeys and all that good stuff.
You're listening to Blanchard Outdoors.
All right.
I need some water. Anybody else
Can
need
we
some
get
water?
some water?
Now I'm gonna get it. Anybody else need some water?
Yes.
Oh, you're gonna get it, D? Okay,
Yeah,
thank
water.
you.
Sound better?
Real good.
Yeah. One commercial too.
Like two.
Yeah, it sound really clear.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. I forget to get your number when we come back to it.
Absolutely.
Remember the calls before you come in.
We have one.
Raise your hand so I can.
Okay.
I'll know. And you're listening to Blanchard Outdoors, and we're talking about springtime and turkey calls and all things turkey, and we've been having balls so far. If you want to call in and give us your personal testimony or some tips, we would love to hear it. Our number here in the studio is 301-429-9247. That's 301-429-9247. And I'm hoping you can tell the difference between the audio because it sounds good to me right here. We have some highfalutin headphones on now, and I feel like a sportscaster for sure. So make sure you tune in for the future shows on Blanchard Outdoors. We are moving and grooving. I got something to brag about before we get back into it. Last week, we joined in with a new podcasting network of other podcasters that deal with outdoors. They hunt me down and said, please, can you be a part of this thing? And it's called Outdoor Podcast Channel. And our podcast has been snatched up in part of their feed, so we come out every Sunday night as well. There are a couple of other, you see, a lawyer, radio show host, and editor of Women's Outdoor News. Everybody wants you guys already.
All right.
Women's Outdoor News, the editor, she wants Lanessa to talk to you, and the host of Lock and Load Radio wants all of us it's like about 10 o'clock in the morning one day, and we are all able to get online. And I told him that'll be a little bit logistical problem. We'll work on it. But he's like, yeah. Y'all sound so good. We want to have like 8 hosts on my show. I was like, dude, stop. He's like, yeah. Y'all got it going on. He said he loved the dynamic. And
Yeah, everything I mean is very positive. So this is definitely moving in the right direction. Again,
I think I like you guys.
I'm blessed and happy.
Keep doing this.
And I'm blessed and happy to be with you guys. And like I said, it's definitely a dream come true to get this started on this journey. So, again, as Ken said, we're talking about turkey hunting. I know I pointed out The Maryland turkey season starts next Saturday, April 18th. If you're in Virginia, it started yesterday, April 11th. And because we're in the Mid-Atlantic region, I kind of did a little research. If you live in Delaware, your turkey season also started yesterday, April 11th, and goes through May 9th. If you have private land, if you're trying to get public land, you had to put in an application, which was due back in January. And then pretty much they have 4 sections you can hunt in, and you get to pick 1 week during the season that you, it's like a lottery if your application gets selected. And then in Pennsylvania, their season is actually May 2nd through May 30th. And their youth hunting day, which Lanessa talked earlier, is actually 2 weeks on April 25th. And pretty much most of the areas, I think you're able to kill 1 bird per day. I know in Maryland and in Pennsylvania is 1 a day, 2 for the season. Maryland, I believe you can kill
2.
Yeah,
1 per day.
1 per day, 2 for the season. Virginia, you can kill 1 per day and then 3 per licensed year. And I think the most theirs kind of start in the fall. So the most you can kill in the fall is 2, and then you can kill 1 in the spring. So I guess in springtime, if you've only taken 1 in the fall, you can kill 2 in the springtime.
What's a tag? I've seen that reference too. Like, what's that talking about?
Well, tagging is when you actually have to go and report your harvest. So that means you have to go to places where you can check in, places where you can buy your license, or butcher, or corner store that's actually certified to support that activity. You would actually go in and report that you actually bagged a particular animal
Or harvested. And most areas now, they basically allow you to be able to do it online due to federal funding. They limited a lot for DNR and things of that nature. They don't have as many places doing it, or as many game wardens like they used to. Correct. So now they allow you to do a lot of it, self-checking, where you can actually check in online.
Wow.
You might hear the term tag and bag or something.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I don't know what that is. Advertise.
And there's all different regulations depending on the animal. You might have to keep a feather if you're hunting a bird. I mean, there's so many different technical pieces to it.
And again, as Ken mentioned earlier in our show, if you just joined us listening to Blanchard Outdoors, most of all this information can be found at your local DNR, Department of Natural Resources. So you can go to, whatever state you live in, just type in, here like in Maryland, MarylandDNR.com or whatever, and it'll bring up everything for you. Again, if you're in Virginia, same way.
Next to Google.
Absolutely. Vast information, very educational. If I would definitely say that would be the first place you want to go to if you want to learn more about the outdoors, or you're just getting into it, want to go hunting or fishing, any of that. It covers all of those areas.
As I mentioned earlier, to learn more about turkey and hunting wild turkey, the entire federation that handles just turkey talk. Turkey Federation, NWTF for short, and they are, again, a national organization. You can actually apply to become a member. They have youth hunt information. It's called JAKES, is their hunting program for the juniors acquiring knowledge of ethics and sportsmanship. And they have a Women in the Outdoors segment for the National Turkey Foundation as well. So I love the information they provide. They have books that you can purchase. They have conventions just all about turkey. It's amazing.
See, we like the last one to know. Well, I am. It's kind of like stuff that you just don't know about. I mean, I'm still amazed. Like I took off the other day and just walked in the woods before I had to go to work, and took my shoes off and sat there on the side, and it was this green mossy stuff, and I was like, this just feels good on the toes. It just feels.
So you were out there with that barefoot?
Yeah, barefoot for a hot second, and because it got really hot for a couple of minutes, and I was like, yeah, this is the real deal. That sounds crazy unless you have been sick. Think about the person who's in a hospital bed who wish they could walk outside, or you've been stuck in a cubicle somewhere, working hard 8 hours a day. You don't even see the sun. You are missing some small stuff. You don't have to go buy anything. Just go outside and just witness what's outdoors. It's amazing.
Nature is amazing.
I just felt it was like, what's the song? Will Smith said, "Woosah." I felt that whole thing of just being outside. Yeah, totally. And then something crazy happened. I was there so long. I saw a red-tailed hawk, and then I saw why are the animals coming?
They were coming.
No, but it's like if you don't move, around me. There's a hawk up there. There's some deer right there. I can't. If I move can't get my phone out. It's like I just stay still. And there was something else rustling, but I couldn't see what that was. And it was just too cool. And I wanted to go photos, camera. I couldn't do nothing. And I finally said, "All right, doggone it." And it took me forever to get this dog thing out. I mean, it was making all this noise. And of course, by the time I did this, I was alone by myself. Just me and the woods. I mean, it was like poof.
Imagine trying to turkey hunt.
I know.
And take pictures and do video at the same time.
Oh,
I've
that's
seen
happening.
these folks online.
Oh, they can
They
do
are awesome.
Oh,
They
okay.
usually hunt in pairs. And they have their head cameras on, and then the person hunting with them is not carrying a gun. They're just filming with them.
Yeah, you
And
got
they
it.
take turns, and they have a camera as well. So they have different angles. So they'll zoom in to actually get the shot when the turkey's being shot, and then they'll show you the vantage point of the
Just live.
person shooting.
I like that.
So I love it, but I would love to do something
You need
like
some
that.
help.
So first of all, I need to figure out how to kill the turkey. Then I can figure out how to film it.
I know,
Same
right?
time.
I know.
And since we're talking about that, again, we talked about during the springtime, you can only kill the male gobblers, the ones with beards. There's 3 different type of calls typically that you can use to imitate a turkey. There's a box call, which Vanessa has here in the studio, and she'll be giving you a little bit of sounds about that. You have a slate call, where you actually have like a piece of stone, and then you have a striker that you go against that. They've now made some new ones when I was researching.
I don't know if you can see this, but I have a picture of that too.
Yeah, they have some new ones now that's actually made out of aluminum. Instead of being a piece of
Okay.
slate stone, it's now an aluminum one you can strike. And then the other one, lastly, would be called a diaphragm. And that's the kind that most hunters, when they're filming of things, they use that one because it goes in your mouth. And basically you can cluck and blow air through it to resemble a hen noise. And that requires the least amount of movement. So you can still raise your gun, still call to them. But with technology now, they made some of the box ones where you can pull a string on it, attach it to your gun, and it's called a push or a pull, where you just pull one of your strings and it makes the same sound, yet you never have to get out of position with your firearm or your sight off. So the technology is amazing. We've come a long way as far as outdoors and hunting, so things of nature. So since Vanessa has a box call in the studio, we'll let her demonstrate. I know she's a little nervous, but it's okay. But she'll give you sounds of what a turkey would sound like out in the wild, as far as just a different type of calls.
And this particular call is called a one-hand box call because you don't actually have to use both hands. But I'm going to demonstrate both options. So this first option, I'm going to use it as a one-hand call. So I can't tell you what type of sound that is. There's a number of different sounds. There's a yelp, there's a tree yelp, a kiki, a cluck, a purr, a cackle, a gobble, a putt, an owl hoot, a crow call. I mean, there's a number of different calls. And you have to, of course, practice. So you can go online and you can search on YouTube and watch people demonstrate how to use various calls. But what I just demonstrated was, again, a one-hand call. I can't tell you what sound it was, but I was able to be successful in making one. All right, you can also use this as a two-hand call where I'm going to hold it with one hand and strike the box with this piece of wood on top.
Wow.
I'm not a pro. It might sound like I know what I'm doing.
Now, in that was several different calls, because as she did it slowly, that's typically what you would call a purr. It's like a person out. Because again, as she talked about, they have different sounds. Like when they all come down the roost, if they all don't come together, they'll do like a purr or a cluck just to get back together. The one that you heard more so when she was doing it, that's typically when a young man is separated, and it's like, all right, I'm calling. I need to know, where are you? You know, I'm calling.
Come get me.
Not come get me, but meet me, or let me know where you are so I can come to you and want to get back together.
Wow.
And the challenge with the calls, and you talked about technology, is that can you imagine trying to juggle, a shotgun with the safety on, that you eventually have to take the safety off. You have your call in the other hand. So they've actually made vests now to accommodate your calls. So you can actually, tuck them in different places. And once you get in position, you can then bring your call out That's why they also made the mouth calls that Dee talked about, the diaphragm calls, that you can actually insert in your mouth and be ready, so you don't have to use your hands to use this box call. So I did purchase also the mouth call. Not sure if I'm going to be able to use that when I have to get some practice in, because there's certain ways that you have to, use your tongue and to make the call actually emit a sound. So that'll be interesting. I think this box call is going to be easier for me, but it depends on how I manage with the shotgun and the call at the same time. Or put it in your vest and be ready. So it's interesting. It was funny because when I was practicing the calls in the house for the last couple of weeks, the dog would just run over to me and just stop dead in her tracks. And she would look at me like, really, what the heck is going on in here? Because any type of sound like that, it sounds like an animal. She was just in tune to it and just knew, being another animal. I don't know how, but it's just this instinct. She's like, that is the weirdest sound. What is going on here? So she just stopped and looked at me. She didn't bark or anything. She just looked. So it was funny. I would just do it sometimes just to tease her.
There was a dude named Josh Carney. We had him on the show last week, and we were showing pictures of him. He does this thing naturally. He told me that he had an accident, and he had a tube down his throat during the hospital, and he got tired of it being in his mouth for the trachea, so he yanked it out too early, and it altered his vocal cords. So now he can make 100 different sounds of different animals, which is like amazing by itself. There's a couple of YouTube videos of Josh. Really cool brother. It's like 23, I think.
Yeah, so if you didn't catch that show, our podcast is out there. Please go and listen to last week's show when we took our break. He is phenomenal. And again, he's all over YouTube.
Yeah.
And when he goes to these conventions, like I know he's been to the National Wild Turkey Federation convention, and they will, he's actually wheelchair bound.
Yeah, paraplegic. And
African-American, young guy. And he hunts with his dad still to this day. But he goes to these conventions, and people just come and crowd around just to hear him make these sounds. I mean, all the different sounds, from a squirrel call to a, turkey call, deer call, rabbit calls. I mean, you name it, this guy can do it. He's amazing.
And going back to
you want to have him in town so we can meet him.
He is always hunting. Even Easter, we get ready for the show. I was trying to get him on while I was still debating whether we were going to have this thing or not.
Okay.
And he's like, yo, big brother, I'm going to be in the field. I was like, I don't know how the cell situation's going to be. I was like, man, go ahead. Just record it. I'm like, go, and I'll put it in there, see what happens.
Yeah, because he's down in the South, correct?
Everybody's in Louisiana or Texas.
And down in the
Everybody.
South, and down in the South, they allow a lot of hunting on Sundays now. Whereas where I'm in Virginia, you're able to hunt on Sundays on private land.
Yeah.
Before it wasn't, you weren't able to do so. So that's why I know our show is on Sunday. Particularly down in the South, you are able to hunt on Sundays. Maryland has just adopted that now, but again, it's only on private land. You own the land, you're able to hunt, and it's only in certain counties. Mainly now, I think it's more so on the Eastern Shore. They allow you to hunt on Sundays. So yeah, that's why a lot of people do those. But getting back to Lanessa and her box call, that's probably the call that has stood the test of time. That's one as far as for a turkey call. The diaphragm now is more elaborate. Again, that takes a lot of practice. A lot of people can't do it, but a turkey call goes way back to, I can remember, when I was very little, that was the call my father had. It was one of the calls, you get a box. And then the slate call goes back to, because basically it's a piece of slate rock with a striker. But that one you have to really practice, because you have to simulate or hit that slate very right to make the exact sound. Because if you don't, it won't sound like a turkey. It'll sound like something else. And you don't want that to happen while you're in the field. Whereas the box, pretty much, if you strike it in the right cadence or right area, it's almost going to sound exactly like a turkey in the wild.
And the price ranges are really good on these things. I actually purchased my diaphragm mouth call on sale for $3. I think the regular price was like $8, and this one I got on sale for $10 or $9 something. But I think they go up to maybe $20-some if you get them. You can get them custom made, of course. They have all kinds of manufacturers who make these.
Absolutely.
You know what I was looking at?
I don't know.
Until you guys show me that, I didn't know.
Well,
like a pipe holder or something.
See how easy it is to use. Just strike it. You'll pick it up.
Which would be more like a cluck right there. Exactly. I'm good.
See, little effort.
I think I've heard that.
Correct. Yeah, like a general. That's almost like a general communication. Like, hello, I'm out
So
here.
Ken's trying his hand at it now.
I'm liking this. I want a turkey really bad, just because of how hard it is. Like I've seen the stuff that you sent some pictures of some ladies in like a sleeping bag or something. It was like camo.
Oh, that was
looking.
a ground blind. Yeah, that was a ground blind.
Yeah, anything that's that tough, I get like you and Alan challenge. Oh man, if it's I don't like this, that makes me want to shoot at it because it's so small.
Yeah, target.
Because I know folks like that's too small. It's like yeah, but I like to shoot. So that makes me want to do it.
Absolutely.
Right.
And with this box call I'm looking now, I've noticed that technology has come a long way because you have the one that actually has wood on top and it's plastic. My father has several at home that I learned to use. They were all wood. The top was wood, the sides of the bottom was wood, and what we would have to do is you would have to rosin the sides to keep it to make that sound. So
Okay.
that's why I said
Maybe
Like
technology.
chisel it or like rub it or something.
Right, you had to rub the rosin on both sides because otherwise you got to think about the friction that would occur wood on wood. It would also deteriorate. So you had to rub the rosin to maintain it, keep the smoothest, so it wouldn't stick. But now you have this where you have the plastic on the bottom and you have the wood on the top. So it's very easy just to go. See, that type of situation. And like you said, you want to go real fast.
Faster, be faster.
I learned already about Jakes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the technology's come a long way because I just realized that. I was like, okay, yeah, that's plastic all around. Once my father has all wood, and I remember him showing me when he would have to go down to use so many times and actually put the rosin on it. Almost like the same type of rosin they use like for violins and strings.
Yeah.
And to rub the same
Okay.
thing. So, you know, because you're talking about, you know, friction that's being caused to create the sound so it would last longer and things of that nature. Now, the ones he had, I'm sure, would be a collector's item now.
Yeah, everything your dad got.
Yeah, they don't make them anymore.
You know how you like deer hunting. You know, I like deer hunting. Most people find which animal they like to hunt the most, and they kind of focus on that. And they have all kinds of equipment. They might have 15 different calls.
Absolutely.
I don't know about your dad. What has his success rate been with turkeys? Like, how many do you know over the years? How many he's actually harvested?
According to the stories I've heard fishing with the dude, he shoots his stuff in the air. I mean, he shoots birds between trees and
Again, that's what I'm saying with me. My father never really went out for spring turkey hunting. It was always
Okay.
we
Oh,
went
it was
deer
by
hunting.
chance. Okay.
No, it wasn't by chance because we always knew there were turkeys in the area.
Okay.
But it was deer season and turkey season coincided. So if we saw a turkey and we got a chance,
he gonna get it.
we got a shot at him. Now, particularly where my father hunts deer, where we hunt, they use dogs. So the dogs would run. You hear dogs running, and that's the excitement of it that I told Ken and I. You do not know what's going to come past you.
Right. Because
They've
they're
had
running from the dog.
deer have ran past my father, and in one occasion he had made his mind a deer, and he heard something on the woods. He put his gun up in the open air. He said, "First thing that hits, I'm gonna shoot," and it happened to be a turkey.
Okay.
Boom, killed it, and then the deer ended up turning and going back because he heard and saw the deer go away. But it was a buck coming. Somebody ended up killing a buck. But my father so much into turkeys, he was like the first thing to come and hits that road, that opening, and I get shot. He's also been where he's seen them where they were going to roost, and he's went and stalked up on them and spooked them, and two flew, and he dropped both of them. Everyone I've ever shot is in the air and it's still flying.
Okay.
Now, most things on the ground with me don't get past me on the
that's what he
ground,
said.
but in the
He told me
air,
that.
you got a chance coming by me. But anything on the ground, I haven't had too many things come past me on the ground and kept going. My
That's what I
father,
said.
he doesn't care if they're running, walking, or flying. He and I know he's killed at least 50 in his lifetime, maybe. But I know the biggest one he killed was that guy that weighed 18 pounds with a 10-inch beard. That is a pretty good turkey.
And the reason why I asked the question is because the class that I attended was a 2-hour session up at a special event. I told you guys on one of our previous shows about the Bold Women's Weekend,
Right.
Becoming an Outdoors Woman, and I went to a 2-hour seminar with some expert turkey hunters who are actually like mountain men, and that's what they do for a living, and one is retired now. And they grew up hunting turkey, but they said in all their years of hunting turkey, their success rate is still not phenomenal because it's such a skill involved in, like you said, spring turkey season. So if you know, we're lucky enough, and I do say luck for myself because I'm not skilled at it yet. If we're lucky enough, I would be so proud and happy because it's apparently really challenging to get one of these turkeys.
Absolutely. It's challenging just first of all because, again, like I said, turkeys are one of the animals that can tell colors. So if you're not fully camouflaged, they can tell when something does not fit.
Mhm.
Second of all, as you see early in the season, you have a limited time that you can hunt them, you know, half hour before sunrise till noon. So you're limited time in that. And then also, you know, it's the same way where you basically are fooling a turkey's ears. You're fooling him to make him think you're a hen or a lonely hen that wants to get with him. And a lot of times, you know, if a turkey already has it, he's not going to leave them to come to one. He'll call and let them know where you are and hope you come join the party.
Okay.
But if you get a lonely one by himself and he has no hands, or he's been beaten, or a Jake that's starting to come into maturity, oh, he wants to find the first available hen or female that he can. So those are the ones that come in.
We've been talking about how the turkey is going to comes in. One of the things that you don't want to do for safety reasons is to stalk a turkey sound. Going back to the safety we talked about earlier. If you hear a turkey, you don't want to get up from where you are and go, looking for it, because it actually could be another hunter using their call. And that's how some accidents happen. When I told you that, a lot of accidents happen during turkey season, which kind of scared me too. A little bit too, the turkey hunting. But if you follow the safety guidelines, you should be pretty safe.
There's a pretty big list actually for safety stuff for the turkey.
Absolutely.
I was reading that today with the colors. Like, I had no idea about that. Don't move, don't chase them. That was on there too.
Yeah, and some people, when Dee talked about covering your face, you can also use makeup. They have these makeup kits where you can actually put, that's when it's going to be
the black and the green
paint on my
and
face and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I know,
depending
on your skin color, you don't have to do that.
You used to wear makeup. Me, I
saw a
like
hat.
war paint.
I saw a hat that you could flip around that had like a mesh thing.
Yeah, I'm looking for one still,
the
because
mask.
I was shopping with one of my buddies and there was only one and I let him purchase it. So
Yeah. And again, if you're just joining us, you're listening to Blanchard Outdoors. We have been talking about spring turkey hunting. And go back to safety. Again, depending on the area you're in, know the type of predators that are in your area. There was a story out of Virginia where a gentleman was severely injured. He was in a blind, he was turkey calling, and didn't realize he was being stalked by a bobcat.
wow.
Once the bobcat got close enough to him, all the bobcat heard was a sound. So he's going to sound turkey. When he finally decided to leap, and the guy looked up, the bobcat realized it wasn't a turkey, but a man.
He was in the blind?
Yeah, he was in a blind.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it
That's
wasn't a
what
top
I'm
blind. Basically, he had a ground blind, but there was no cover. You can put meshing, like camouflage netting all around. So when the bobcat leaped, he saw at the same time. They struggled. He shot Mr. Bobcat away, but the gentleman had to go to the hospital. I think he had to require somewhere between 35 to 50 stitches. He had cuts all over his body.
Wow.
And bobcats, I can tell you now, I've killed one. Their claws and teeth, they're basically like miniature lions. I mean, and they're built, they're all muscle. They're built. So again, in your area, if you may have bobcats, you might have coyotes, things of that nature. They're hearing the same sound. So I mean, if you can fool a turkey,
You're doing so good. They can
you can fool predator animals into thinking that you're a turkey as well. So I would say just be again aware of your surroundings, listen and look and see, because you may be a situation where you may have to shoot a predator to get them off you.
9247. Call us and let us know what you're thinking about our turkey talk today. If you have any tips, because you're a turkey hunter, we would please share that information with us because we're novice. And we expect to get out there pretty soon this season. And we have a competition going now, D and I. I'm calling it a competition. I don't know why. I guess just for fun, but you know, we'll see who gets the first turkey if we get one at all this season.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Again, that number to call us is 301-429-9247. You'll be going live with Blanchard Outdoors.
Yeah, we would love to hear from you guys. Like I said, any comments, tips, even if you have some questions. Again, we're not saying we're experts in this particular area, but we do have some exposure to it. You know, you may come up with a question we hadn't thought of. If we don't get an answer today, we definitely will do some research and come up with that. But we would love to hear from you. We've got about 10 minutes or so to be able to hear some calls. Otherwise, we're going to continue on. I think Ken got us back up alive now.
Yeah, I had to use a different network
We're back.
because I got to pay my bill or something. I don't know. It's always something with the video, and that was my biggest thing. As I have been broadcasting since 2007 in my basement doing the audio thing only, my biggest reason and fear was television. And video, because there's so many working pieces to it. I'm only have you guys on Google Hangouts as an extra credit thing, just so you can proof of concept that we're actually live, real people, and we're broadcasting live in living color here in the nation's capital, right outside New Carrollton, Atlanta, Maryland, talking about hunting, fishing, and doing what's best in the world. Just loving life. Just trying to let you know that there's more to it in the Beltway. It's bigger stuff than what you see on television, that you actually can do some great things. There's people who actually cook some great dishes with live game too. There's some game chefs. Every once in a while, you throw them on Facebook. We have a real good Facebook group.
Not because y'all, I wouldn't say they're live game. Dead game.
Yeah, dead game. That's right.
Wild game.
Wild game. There you go. Wild game.
I want to see who's cooking some live game. That's going to be real interesting right there.
Cannibalism.
Okay. I know
Wow,
fish and
yeah.
crabs are kind of,
Yeah.
live when you're cooking them, but games, I want to see how you're going to catch a kill. Well, that would be killed. We catching those, so that would be interesting.
Yeah, when I took my turkey class, the 2-hour seminar I was telling you guys about, of course, if they've hunted turkeys most of their lives, they've eaten a lot of turkey.
Mm.
And they talked about how the wild turkey tastes a lot different than the regular turkey you buy in the store, of course, as most, livestock
Free
tastes.
range.
Yeah, right.
Real
free
range.
It's more what they call gamey. So I don't know what that would taste like. I can't wait to find out. But one of the favorite recipes of one of my instructors was like a pot pie. So he would do actually cook the turkey. And then of course I asked the question, how do you actually take the leaves off? Not the leaves, I'm sorry. How do you how you actually defeather it? And they said they don't. They actually will cut it and basically kind of peel the feathers off versus your old fashioned, put them in the hot water and pluck them. Some people still do that, but they said, of course, the easiest way is kind of cut it up the back and, peel it off and do it that way, especially if you want to actually save it, because you can, mount them. And they actually had a mounted one in the class, so that we got a chance to actually see up close and actually look at the feathers and beautiful, beautiful iridescent colors, coming through. Just awesome. But there are tons of recipes out there for turkey, and I can't wait to try.
I'll tell you, the best wild turkey I've had is a deep fried wild turkey.
Oh, okay.
A whole wild turkey. Oh my God, you talking about juicy, moist, and delicious.
Was that one of your dads?
No, he actually, someone else did that at a family barbecue.
Okay.
But my dad, the next time he said either he or myself killed one, he has a deep fry. That was definitely going to take place, but it was deep fried. A wild turkey. Now, again, when you said someone says the difference between the turkeys, you're talking about that gaming. Again, that might be in the preparation before they actually cook it. Same way with deer. So many people talk about, deer talk game, taste gaming. Yeah. If you don't marinate it or do certain things, they'll talk. Because all the people that eat mine, they swear it was beef. Or the ones that my mother cooked, or what my father's cooked, or what my uncle was. Yeah, it's all in the it's all in the preparation. Yeah, if you don't marinate it and get all the blood out of it or the particular membranes that will keep that gaminess in it, then yeah, you can have a bad experience. But I've eaten wild and regular turkey, and you wouldn't even know the difference. But the best turkey, wild or raised, whatever, was a deep fried wild turkey. Okay. My God, I tried to eat almost half the bird. It was that delicious. Because I was like, initially I was like, who fried the chicken?
Exactly
I said, who fried some chicken? It's like, that's not chicken, that's turkey. I was like, what? Yes, it was that delicious, moist, and then the person told me. Yeah,
Okay.
there was no difference in tasting. I mean, absolutely delicious. So yeah, I'm hoping to be able to get one so my father can definitely be able to put one in deep fried and hopefully it'll come out the same way.
I had dinner already. I'm hungry again. Talking about turkey fried. It's like, turkey, that's good stuff there right there.
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
See, not just hunting or feeding. We're it's a part of that, like Lion King, Circle of Life.
Absolutely.
We're a part of it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's all about hunting and eating what you kill. I mean, that's the slogan.
It's a real deal.
It's actually a movement. There's a movement out there called Eat What You Kill, and they are conservationists and naturalists and people who really believe in actually, hunting what you eat, or raising your chickens on your farm. I know some of my friends on Facebook actually had a picture and said new additions to the family. They had 3 chickens. So people down south, folks who are just hunters and
Right.
Folks that met online, and they actually are raising their own chickens so they can get their eggs from their backyard.
Organic and natural. A step above all that is when you take it to the next level.
Absolutely. You're not talking about any preservatives, any added, any type of feed. You're trying to make them grow quicker and things that can harm you.
Steroids.
Correct. Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Just all natural.
Chickens are yellow. I remember the first time I ate a yellow chicken. And I looked at it and I was like, this doesn't look like a chicken from my grandmother's house. What happened? Because that chicken's white, the grandma got, right? It's like way different.
Absolutely.
And it's smaller.
Right.
And this thing was like bright yellow. And I started learning about how they color like everything we eat, even oranges. They're not that orange. I mean, we just take it for granted that I can't eat it unless it looks like this. Like,
Right. Yeah, some of the ones you read, they spray paint.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's that simple.
I lived in Brazil for 2 years, and I had fresh squeezed orange juice every day, and most of the time it was green and some other candy-colored thing, but they were oranges. We do something to our oranges here.
It's light. Yeah, when I say spray paint, I mean it's light. It's not like correct. Just to give it a little bit more brighter color. Because typically you think about it, you go in, and I'm guilty of that. You normally get the brighter, more orange. That doesn't mean it's gonna be any sweeter. You just think it's a little bit more riper. But like you said, yeah, you'd be surprised at some of the things in the natural state of colors that they come in, where that's how it should be.
They're not that shiny. They're not that bright.
Right, not that bright, not that shiny. But again, we are creatures of appealness, so we see that one that's bright or orange, and we think it's going to be better or sweeter.
You go to Whole Foods, and it's like a whole setup of colors, reds and yellows and greens. And if you grow that thing yourself, it does not look like that.
No.
Your cucumber does not come out straight. That joke is all curved up and stuff. You have a farm and see how messy your stuff looks?
Oh,
The
absolutely.
spring beans are all.
Especially like tomatoes, yeah, they're not nice and round.
No.
They got lumps and absolutely.
Yeah.
But again, that's to attract you to come in and get their particular product. But yeah, anything that I get from again, like I said, I'm going out next weekend, see my uncle get him 88 and raise his farms. I bring back sweet potatoes that he raised. Everybody that have eaten them said they don't even want the ones from the store.
I know.
It's a big difference from what you buy in the store and you talking about farm raised.
Our fish is like that too.
Absolutely.
When we fish in the summertime, and then you go back to the store and go, you're selling this little thing for how much a pound?
And how about it
And
looks
it's frozen.
dry? It looks dry.
Well,
Even
you
in
know
the
what?
fresh
They can call it
section.
fresh as long as it's been frozen for a week, as opposed to you doing yours, say, catching it
The
today
morning.
and cooking it tomorrow. That's fresh fish.
And sometimes they have a sign that says previously frozen. Like,
It's small print. You look for it.
That's a disclaimer. So
and it's so expensive. I can't wait because I'm actually going Saturday. I'm going turkey hunting, and then my other love, my first love, fishing, is the next day. I'm going rock fishing.
that's right. You're going for the trophy rock, right?
Right, and I never imagined that I would actually hunt and fish in the same weekend. That's crazy to me.
Since you guys do this stuff on Sundays, I can see right now I'm gonna have to get like a remote camera or audio thing, and I'll just be here by myself. Me and Lionel would just be here, and I'll be like, "Where you at now?" You're like, "I'm in the woods. Be quiet." And I'm on the boat. And Ken's in the studio, and we'll put it on the screen or something.
No, what one thing about it, the good thing about it, with our show being at 7 p.m., typically it's dark at that time. So you're not fishing or hunting once the sun goes down. So, but I mean, we can definitely give you real time events or results of what's happening from us that particular day. Absolutely. I look forward to it. Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Good times are coming.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I didn't realize turkey season was in Virginia, and I'm going down. So I'm looking forward to that. Hey, wish you all luck next week.
Same to
You're
you.
going what, next Saturday?
I'm going Saturday.
Yeah, opening day in Maryland. So,
How does the license thing go? How do you get ready for this? After you have your hunter safety course, how do you sign up for the rest of the next level? What do you do?
But when you go purchase your license for the hunting season, it spans 2015, well, 2014, 2015. So when you purchase your license for deer hunting, it also covers your turkey. But if you want to do anything like waterfowl, you have to actually get a bird stamp for that. So you pay an extra maybe $5, $15. I can't remember what it was. I just knew I had to have it. And then if you want to do fur bearing, that's another stamp or purchase you have to make. And the thing about it, me talking about going hunting with Dee down in Virginia, I would actually have to buy a one-day pass for a season, out-of-state season hunting license for Virginia if I wanted to hunt with someone in Virginia. You just can't arbitrarily say, oh, I'm going to hunt in Virginia today. So I still have to buy a one-day pass, and it's pretty expensive.
Actually, you can do a 3-day hunting license.
That's right,
You can do a 3-day, or you can do the whole season.
That's $100 and some dollars.
Oh, it's very expensive. I get it every year. And the one thing that she talked about is in most states, especially in Virginia and in Maryland, when you buy your big game license, deer, turkey, and bear are covered under that big game. So it runs for a full season. So you don't have to buy a specific license for turkey. And typically they count it as a license year. So typically it starts, I believe, from like June of the previous year until like May of the following year. So like right now we're into the 2014, 2015 season. So because we bought our big game license from Maryland last October or November, we're covered for the turkey season. Then once June comes around, the new season starts, then you'd have to buy a new license that would go from 2015 to 2016. I believe Virginia runs the same way. But again, all this information we talked about will be your local DNR website.
DNR, man.
Yeah, DNR. For your area or wherever you are, it can let you know how your seasons and things fall. But typically, deer, turkey, and bear all falls under the big game license.
And although they teach the hunter safety class throughout the year, different times, it's definitely seasonal. The best time to actually take that class is over the summer. So you can be ready for
okay, I'm on then.
deer
I'm
season
the last
and
one
everything
in.
else once it comes
Absolutely.
in.
I'll take it this year.
Yeah, and I'll make sure
July.
you get information to make sure you're good. Wow, the time has gone and our
I know, right?
Well, it's amazing how time flies when you're talking about things you really truly enjoy.
And having fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having fun with us. This is Blanchard Outdoors, and you've been listening to the esoteric Dee Brown and Ken Blanchard, and we would make up Blanchard Outdoors your spot for the outdoors and sports in the urban community. Again, thank you. We'll talk to you again next week, and there'll be some stories to be told next week.
Oh my goodness. It's on now.
Absolutely.
All right.
That was
You can
fun.
give us our words of wisdom, man. You know, we do this.
Oh, yeah, I messed that up.
I was waiting for you to say it.
But do you pressure Jadeel looking at the clock like, okay.
Not impressed. I'm like,
I know you.
that's
That's good though. You're a good timekeeper. I never look at the time. Like,
Yeah,
it's time
keep
for a
track.
break. You're always on.
And y'all put me off for a minute. He was like, the show last week. I was like, I thought Ken's on the weekend on show.
I put about.
No, we did have. We didn't have. Okay, go ahead and tell
We
them.
didn't have a show. I just did a podcast. I just looked up.
Well, when I went online, we got to see that. I mean, when I went on Blanchard Outdoors, I didn't see that. For last week.
It's there.
When did you put it up?
Sunday.
When you looked at me, I knew you didn't know. I'm glad you didn't say anything.
Oh, come on.
Of course you put it in.
Yeah, you saw my face like, what the?
Yes, it's a good job.
I would have been here. He told me we weren't going to do one.
No, I
He was like, oh, you can check out the show. I was like, oh, y'all hit me with the April Fool's joke.